All right, great people. If you are feeling this channel, you are loving our content, you want to join the squad, subscribe to the channel, share the video, like, and let's get into it.
President Trump had been reaching out to me, and I talked to him a few hours after the assassination attempt, and we had a long conversation by phone. I then had two extensive meetings, and there were issues, the broad issues that were most important to me, the ones that brought me into the campaign, which was ending the Ukraine war, ending the censorship, and protecting children's health. We're all reforming our food supply, all the things that we need to do to make our children healthy again.
That's right.
Those are all things that President Trump also wanted to work on. And he invited me to form a unity government. We agreed that we'd be able to continue to criticize each other on issues on which we don't agree. But these issues are so important in their way of unifying our country. We need in this country to reach a point where we love our children more than we hate each other.
Yeah.
It's a good unifying theme that I think a lot of people could get around. It's how we get there. That's always the devil is in the details. Have you all negotiated over or talked about a cabinet position, another position within a Trump government in exchange for your endorsement?
No, there's been no commitments. But I met with President Trump, with his family, with his closer advisors, and we just made a general commitment that we were going to work together.
Let's go.
What about the states where you're trying to get off of a number of swing state ballots to say, I'm going to stay on a number of state ballots, but in these swing states, I'm going to try to withdraw myself and ask my supporters, or at least you're telling them, think about supporting President Trump. Did you negotiate over which states you would try to withdraw from?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew which states they were. There basically is 10 swing states where my presence in the race would have helped Vice President Harris and would have harmed President Trump. So I'm going to get off the ballot in those states, and then we're going to stay on the ballot in 30 states. And, I'm encouraging people to vote for me in those states. Those are states where the votes, they're either all red or all blue states where their votes are not going to change the outcome of the race. And
the red's going to win.
In the states where I would have been a spoiler, I'm going to get out. So it's about 10 states.
Okay,
Wow.
so there were reports a couple of weeks ago citing an official from your camp and also a Democratic official saying that there had been outreach to the Harris camp as well to possibly discuss you working within the Harris administration in exchange for an endorsement of her. Is that true? And what happened with that?
I reached out to them on the same basis that I reached out to President Trump, and we actually talked to other presidential candidates, including Chase Oliver and the Libertarian Party, about figuring out ways that we could end the polarization and the hatred and the vitriol, start talking about issues. And I was welcome to listen to anything from the Democrats that they were going to do something about the war, about the Ukraine war, about the censorship, about the child health crisis, this epidemic of chronic disease that has now disabled about 60% of our kids. And when my uncle was President, Shannon, only 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today, over 60%.
That's crazy.
And, it's hard to find a kid today that's not been damaged by it. And it's coming from our food supply, from pollution in our environment, from toxics in our environment, and mainly from corruption in our government that allows that to happen.
You've talked about, or there's been discussion that if you were to join the Trump administration in some health.
So real quick, I like the fact that he said he reached out to that party as well, but nobody ever said, what happened.
Their hand.
So who really has the people at heart? Who has the best interest at heart to really want to help and see the people on the upward climb?
Exactly. And this is even more so reason to me why conservatives are going to take it.
And he said, one final thing is that he said, and he and Trump will continue to go back and forth about those issues that they don't agree on, but they're willing to have the dialogue and come to some type of happy medium in the interim. So I was like, okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Correct.
health-related position, that you have real interest in dismantling things like the FDA, the CDC, NIH. You would like to see a focus away from infectious diseases to what you're talking about, more chronic diseases. Is it fair to say that you would try to dismantle some of those organizations?
No, I wouldn't dismantle them. I would change the focus, and I would end the corruption.
Come on.
I would. Right now, 75% of FDA's budget is coming from pharmaceutical companies. That is a perverse incentive. In NIH, if you scientists and officials in NIH who work on drug development, who incubate drugs for the pharmaceutical company, get to collect lifetime royalties.
Lifetime.
On those products. These are regulators. They're supposed to be looking for problems in those products.
Generational rich.
We have these agencies that have become sock puppets for the industries they're supposed to regulate. So they're not really interested in public health. Everybody, the most profitable thing today in America is a sick child. Everybody's making money. The hospitals are making money. The pharmaceutical companies are making money. Even the insurance companies make money. And we need to end those perverse incentives. We need to get the corruption out of FDA, out of NIH, out of CDC, and make them function as they're supposed to function, which is to protect public health and particularly children's health.
Yeah.
Can I go back to your decision from Friday? Both you and Nicole Shanahan, your running mate, have talked about how you feel like the Democrats completely mistreated you, excluded you from the process. How much of your decision Friday is about revenge or motivated by punishing Democrats in some way?
Zero. I don't act in anything in my life. I don't act out of anger or revenge or resentment. It's a bad motivation.
Yeah.
It's like swallowing poison and hoping someone else will die. And so I don't do it.
Let's go.
I am very pragmatic and practical, and I am focused on one thing, which is how do we restore health for our children? And that touches many, many other issues. How do we regenerate our soils in this country? How do we protect small family farmers? The incentives are all going to commodity agriculture, and that's what is feeding this chronic disease epidemic, the processed foods that are created by commodity agriculture. So we need to do all of these things at once. Protect small farmers, restore our soils, regenerative agriculture, and to get the corruption out of the federal government and make these agencies do what they were created to do, which is to protect our health and not serve the mercantile interests of the pharmaceutical companies and the processed food industry.
That's
This
right.
decision is not without personal cost for you. Your own family went to the White House on St. Patrick's Day, took a huge picture with President Biden, made clear who they were supporting. Friday night, your siblings issued this statement. We believe in Harrison Waltz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. You posted on X Friday night saying you're grateful to your amazing wife because the decision that you've made is one that she's uncomfortable with. So talk to us about the personal backlash you have to deal with.
Could you imagine that you go check your family group chat and they're like, Uncle, we're removing you from the chat. Goodbye.
I mean,
the family chat.
So that goes to show the values that they are supporting are values that he wants to stand on.
No, because they're long life Democrats. But the people with his family members have to understand you're not serving the Democrats of y'all's father.
Right.
So it's not the same. You just because you serving that D doesn't mean that's going to be something that's going to be beneficial. They probably already wealthy, but that's not helping anybody. And you don't have to be a long life anybody if they go against your values.
Yeah, I mean, my family is at the center of the Democratic Party. I have 5 members of my family that are working for the Biden administration. President Biden has a bust of my father behind him at the Oval Office. He's been a family friend for many, many years. And my family I understand that they're troubled by my decisions, but, I love my family. I feel like we were raised in a milieu where we were encouraged to debate each other and debate ferociously and passionately about things, but to still love each other. So, they can, they're free to take their positions on these issues. There are many, many members of my family who are working in my campaign, who are supporting me. I have a very big family. There's a few of them that are troubled But, I think we all need to be able to disagree with each other and still love each other.
Right.
Wall Street Journal has this. They say it's a double-edged sword, essentially, that it may help President Trump to pick up some of your followers if they're willing to go over there. But they warn about what you would do in his administration. They say this: RFK Jr., if he's anywhere near the healthcare or environmental agencies in a Trump administration, look out. Mr. Trump's best response is to thank RFK Jr. for his support, make no promises about the future, and by all means avoid joint campaign appearances. You've already had one. Will you have others? Will you campaign for President Trump?
I'm going to be campaigning actively. I think President Trump is going to make a series of announcements about other Democrats who are joining his campaign. And I want to make America healthy again, and so does President
Make America
Trump.
healthy again. I love that.
Those are objectives. The Wall Street Journal may be worried about shareholder value for pharmaceutical companies, and I think I talked specifically to President Trump about that issue, and he said that he wanted to leave as his legacy healthy children, and that
This is gonna be awesome, man.
Concerned about the other implications.
It's gonna be awesome.
All right. Robert F. Kennedy Jr., thank you for your time today. We'll see you on the campaign trail then.
Shannon, thanks so much for having me.
So y'all, with
Wow.
that, before I switch to this next screen, I want to say that we now have a clear definition for the people that don't know that what MAGA means. We now have a clear definition of what MAGA means for the people that don't know. For the people in the back. So RFK dropped a clear definition. Definition of what MAGA means.
Come on.
And it says here, he said, what MAGA really means. The phrase has troubled liberals who think it is a call for a return to an America before civil rights, gay rights, and in women's rights. But I have a more generous interpretation, one that is truer to my experience of Donald Trump as he is today. Make America great again. Recalls a nation brimming with vitality, with a can-do spirit, with hope and a belief in itself. It was an America that was beginning to confront its darker shadow, could acknowledge the injustice in the past and present, yet at the same time could celebrate its successes.
It was a nation of broad prosperity, the world's most vibrant middle class, and an idealistic belief, though not consistently applied, in freedom, justice, and democracy. It was a nation that led the world in innovation, productivity, and technology. And it was the healthiest country in the world.
I have talked to many Trump supporters. I have talked with his inner circle, and I have talked to him, the man himself. This is the America they want to restore.
Come on.
See, when he said that, when I read this post, I said, this is what we need. We don't need anything else but this. Yep. We need this. And then when he started also mentioning, but what got me too, when he started mentioning President Trump was going to bring in some other Democrats. And I was just curious to know because, now it's like when I try to go back and search the list also for who were the candidates in the lineup, it's hard to get to the list of who were the candidates in the lineup.
Okay.
But then I looked and I said, wait, what about
I may have that.
I said, what about Cornel West? I said Cornel West is he's not a Democrat, but he was an independent. And Cornel West, although some of the things that aren't Cornel West says I don't agree with, but there are some things that I do agree with that RFK also supports. And I feel like if RFK is supporting, those could be things that can help the Trump campaign. And although, like you said, when you bring in other people from other parties, you're going to have your disagreements. But then the things that you agree upon can make Voltron. So let's I'm going to look. Cornel West dropped this video, right? It looked like today. And I just wanted y'all to hear what he's talking about.
I want to speak to my brothers and sisters of all colors who are concerned about not just
I hope this music don't get copyright. I hope this ain't My Skin Is Black. I hope this not that song, because that one will get copyright.
the vaccine, but the role of the pharmaceutical company in shaping public policy, not allowing the various voices to be heard, the role of censorship, the attempt to impose closure on various voices that would help us understand what's really going on when it comes to healthcare policy vis-a-vis vaccine. I want a truth commission to find out what happened in the past, and I want to make sure that each and every one of us have fair access to the truth.
Come on. Okay.
Okay, so that's the clip I wanted to say.
That is good. So I really want to know myself, who are going to be the other Democrats that are going to come over, and maybe even possible independents.
And let me add into that with Cornel West. If you bring in, I think y'all should, and I just highly recommend it for the conservative party. I know a Republican, but I focus on the conservatism. You need to bring in a black face or somebody who represents the minority side, because that's what their 100% key focus is over on the left.
Yeah.
So if you have some similarities on the right, because I told y'all that's the thing that the right is missing. They're missing somebody who can go out and reach the minority people and not really just be kind of like, y'all catch up, y'all get, you got to go and talk to the people. And I believe if you can get somebody on that side that can you can start swaying in other people, because they will see like, wait a minute, they got Cornel West. Really?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm really curious to know, because when I heard that earlier, I was like, wait a minute, Democrats are going to be coming over?
Right.
And it is a secret, because I'm trying to think who would possibly be coming over. But he's making his dream team. He is putting together a team that is going to win.
They're going to take it, man.
That is going to win, and that this country will be able to get a breath of fresh air. And all of our issues, let me not say all, many of the pressing issues, we can start at revitalizing our country. It's going to take some time, and we know in these 4 years, every single I and T may not be dotted or crossed, but the major key issues, at least we will be able to get a head start, and maybe some of those things will be on the right track and can be alleviated. Yeah. That's what we want. We want the right team of people who are going to work together. And outside of your disagreements, they will have the commonality to beat just like when the Avengers completely come together to destroy whatever the Earth Destroyer is, which is the Harris campaign. They got to come together and destroy the Harris campaign. Although there's some things that maybe like Cornel West. What does Optimus Prime say?
He said Autobots. Autobots. Form or activate?
I don't know.
I thought Autobots form activate. We got to fight the Decepticons.
Come on.
Got to fight the Decepticons.
Ooh, this is really getting good. This is getting good.
But there are going to be some things that people are not going to agree with Cornel. Like he's for reparations and he's for Palestine. So there's going to be some disagreements.
But maybe it's the key issue or whatever the fact is that they do agree upon, they may be able to work together.
True.
You don't know. I just felt like it was worth us trying to, and that's only.
Was Bumblebee the most behaving when he was with the one? Is he the most like Transformers? Bumblebee is kind of like he outlaws himself, like he does what he wants to do. So
right,
they
he
don't
still
always
gets in line. True,
yeah, he gets in line when it's time
Yeah.
for the good of the cause.
Exactly.
He's in line.
Yeah. But I was going to say, and we don't know. This is just us speculating over here. We just thought that it would be interesting. To see who may be able to fit in that category and be able to work together amongst the differences. So we just thought that would be interesting. What do you guys think? Put it in the comment section. It is not said. We don't have no quotes, no solid information. This is only a SIBO and Snapper speculation based off of the rumblings and what you're hearing of other Democrats coming over. And we know he's not a Democrat.
He's
however, it could be a
RFK.
Exactly.
They got him in the independent category.
Yeah, so. And I was going to say, and it could be a combination of both coming together to form the Autobots.
The Autobots.
Let's go.
I said Voltron. In that Thundercats.
Let's go. I am so excited, man. This is just getting even more interesting. But we said it was. We said it was going to be more twists and turns, like we really know, but we already just knew. We know.
These last 2 months,
Ooh,
these 2 months up to the election, let me tell you something. These 2 months of the election are going to be wild, and the rest of the year is going to be crazy.
It
is. This year.
Whew.
All right. So 2024, be more.
Talk less. See you in the next video, guys.
Bye.